Healthcare and the Candy Store Called Socialism by Jim Fedako, an audio Mises Daily narrated by Joe Kohlhaus. Some 27 years ago, I spent 2 weeks in Yugoslavia, the supposed workers' paradise, cobbled together by the strong arm of Marshal Tito. And, if my memory serves, the country was an overflowing candy store, a middle schooler's sweet-tooth delight. Socialism as a candy store? Sure. But you have to consider the question and its answer in context. We know apodictically that socialism cannot efficiently allocate resources. Yet we also know that socialism can and does produce. This is true whether the society is structured along the lines of German, Soviet, or democratic socialism. In all three forms, goods are produced for the consumption by the masses, and some of those goods are sweet indeed. My stay in Yugoslavia was centered around the northern steel town of Ravna na Koroškem, which is now Slovenia. We boarded with a family who had some ground-level apartments for rent, with all apartments sharing the same common kitchen and bath. The conditions were, to be kind to the family, basic at best. The kitchen had several small chairs, a table, and sparse silverware and settings. The little bedrooms had nothing save a too-soft bed, mirror, dresser, and chair. The floors throughout were tiled and cold, and the yellow to opaque windows were outlined by frayed curtains. Outside of the party, this was good living in Tito's paradise, and it was livable, barely. A short walk from the house was the local Nama grocery store, or should I say, candy store. The outside was clean and white, but the inside was dark and dingy, with one exception, the sugar-laden aisle. Hard, tasteless bread was sold by the centimeter, and the few slabs of meat on the unclean butcher's table behind the empty cooler looked gray and inedible. Eggs, toilet paper, fresh fruit, not to be found. But who is looking for that stuff, especially when you're 13 years old and in front of shelves overflowing with bright boxes of cookies, candy, and oversweetened juice, and it was all delicious, and the price very inexpensive. Of course, kids are not the only ones who like sweet deals. Every now and again, I hear adults tell their versions of the candy store called socialism. However, for them it's not sugary treats being referenced. Instead, it's healthcare. The tales were all very similar, about trips to European emergency rooms where the waits were short and the doctors and nurses were plentiful. And the price? Who can complain about free or nearly free? Well, free or nearly free to them anyway. And given these real experiences, is it any wonder that folks who return championing socialized medicine? Is it any wonder that a kid from the hills north of Pittsburgh still remembers juice so deliciously sweet and thick, and cookies so delectably fruity and fresh? But the folks championing socialized medicine are always repeating tales of visits for simple cases of the flu or other travel-related illnesses. What is seen is the overflowing abundance of care at that level. This is the sugar, so to speak. Unseen are the other types of care, the meat, eggs, etc. This is where the failures of socialized medicine are as obvious as a lack of nutritious food in a Yugoslavian store. The stories from travelers paint a different picture from those told by people living in countries with socialized medicine. Many of these folks, those looking for meat, complain about either the unavailability of care or wait times that exceed the life expectancy of those suffering from the disease. So we end up hearing contrasting stories, ones from visitors who are amazed by the candy, and others from residents who complain about no meat, and both are right. Can a society or a sector of the economy organized under socialism efficiently allocate resources? No. Can it produce overflowing shelves of sugar in dingy stores barren of essentials? Absolutely. And can it overstaff emergency rooms as a means to satisfy short-term cravings for healthcare, even while essential long-term needs go wanting? Certainly, with real examples all around. Can it ever balance the two? And can it balance the two along with other goods and services desired? Not in this world of scarcity, so not in this world at all. Bastiat and Hazlitt published the idea of the unseen front and center for important reasons. It is essential that the unseen is included in any consideration of a situation. And that is true even when, like me at 13, you want to overlook the barren, dirty shelves in order to focus on the, well, oasis of sugar. The Mises Institute hopes you have enjoyed this Audio Mises Daily. For a free world of market literature, media, and discussion, visit Mises.org.